This is Colin Dixon with nScreen Media, and I'm speaking with the CEO and CTO of First Light, and that's Andre Christensen, he's CEO and founder, and Juan Martin, CTO and founder. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colin.
So I'm really excited to talk to you because you are doing some really interesting and innovative things with AI. And we'll get into that in just a second. But you know what, Andre, I want to turn to you first because I have a feeling that there'll be some people out there who aren't aware of First Light. So can you please introduce the company? Who is First
sure.
Light?
Thank you. So we've been in the market for a long time, actually, but with different names. We started as Quick Play and we were part of AT&T for a while, and now we're First Light Media. We've been running and building and running streaming and OTT platforms for large tier 1 content providers and pay TV providers around the world for many years. And it started off as kind of, the basic principle, getting video to the end user in a way that with high quality. And over the last year and a half, it's quickly evolved into being a lot more machine learning driven and, driving user engagement and those sorts of things.
Very good. So now you mentioned engagement, and that's one of the areas where you're really focused with at the moment, right? You're working to improve that, and that is a key area where AI is really helping. So tell me what you're doing there.
Well, this was one of those. If you asked a lot of the owners of content owners and content producers for the last several years and what their priority would be for their streaming services, they would all say the same. They once they get past the point of being able to stream the content with high quality to the end user, they need to find ways of keeping that audience engaged.
Very important.
They make big investments in content. They have deep catalogs, maybe hundreds of linear TV channels, whatever they have. How do you bring that best of that content to the end user? And that's not easy, but that's what they all want to do. And that's where I think the future is going to be, it's going to be more and more characterized by whoever is doing that best is going to win in the market. So that's the premise. And in order to drive user engagement, well, first of all, you got to be able to define what that really is, because it's a bit more than just, the volume and how many viewers you have and things like that. There are factors of how engaged they are, what kind of is the quality time they're spending on it? Are they actually consuming your content? Are they coming back to it? Are they dropping out of the content? So first of all, you need to be pretty precise in terms of what user engagement is. So we spent some time on that, right? And created a metric that defines that. And there's a lot of different key performance indicators that constitutes that. In order to drive user engagement, you got to think through what that means across the different parts of the value chain, right? It's not just a recommendation engine. It's not just, some algorithms and then it happens, right? You got to think that through from the second you start encoding and processing content and what you do with that and how you enrich that content with data to be able to describe it. And you got to be able to extract information about what is being consumed and why it's being consumed. And you got to be able to make recommendations, and not just for the end user directly, but also as a service provider. What is the catalog that you want to bring to your customers? What kind of content do you need to bring into your service? And what do you want that storefront to look like, right? So making merchandising decisions about what should be in the carousels and what kind of content should I promote this week versus next week. And you got to be able to do that in a agile and dynamic way where you can actually change things out and try it out, right?
So it's really a combination of what the consumer wants and what you want as a business to create those recommendations. So Juan, let me bring you in here. So how are you using AI in this process? How does that help out?
Look, I think what Andre was describing is that really personalization and the path towards getting more engagement is a strategy, right? It's not just a feature that you pull out. So what we build on our storefront is really a content curation platform. And we offer a set of tools that are based on AI or machine learning to assist in that process. So you can do you can pull scenes, you can pull queries that are matching tags from your content. You can do recommendations, you can do personalization feeds, say you pick up your favorites, and you can put all of that in the mixer in order to put forward a user interface that attracts your customers. Now, you know, the trick here is that data science is perhaps a bit more of an art than a science often. And you need to test out those calibrations with the market. So what we try to do is create a platform that allows you to experiment. So we put forward decisions about content, we measure engagement metrics in how the user interact with that content, and we feed that back into performance metrics that you can see. So your carousel is performing or not, your content decisions are working out or not, and that allows you to then go back and adjust your decisions. Right? So over time, you can see how your performance improves, you can fine tune your algorithms so your recommendations perform better, and overall you can drive engagement.
So that's where the AI is really helping. It's in that feedback loop. It's helping identify the pieces of information that are most critical, I guess.
Right.
Right. So Andre, how does it work? Have you're obviously using this with some customers. Does it work?
It works. I mean, as a service provider, obviously you need to have good content. Like no personalization engine in the world is going to help you if you don't have good content.
Yeah.
But the engine helps you make those decisions, what kind of content you should pull in. And if you have I would say kind of a general good catalog of premium content, right? And if it's VOD, video on demand, and a lineup of good premium linear TV channels, like more of a standard thing. When you start implementing these practices and you get to a fairly mature level, doesn't have to be the most mature level, you often see a lift in the engagement between 30%, 60%, even in some cases, right? So it's quite dramatic lift, which again translates to real business value, right? Because your churn is going to go down, right? People are more engaged. They're going to come back to your service. You're going to lose less of them. It gets more powerful as a bundle service if you're doing this as part of a bigger bundle, right? It increases the value of the bundle that you're providing. And it's easier to attract them, right? And obviously with more traffic and more engaged traffic, it's easier to monetize that through more targeted advertising.
You bet. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Juan, for telling us about this, and come back and talk to us again soon.
Thank you, Colin.
Thank you.
Thank you both. This has been Colin Dixon with nScreen Media.